Hello, everyone who ends up watching this on my YouTube channel, because this is where it's going to end up. My name is Trickster Fox. I'll be the main host. I've got Andrew, the YouTuber Critic, with me. And this is just going to be a straight up, I guess it's just going to be just a regular podcast for now, but we are going to discuss like a couple of topics. Whoa, easy there. First one, I guess first on the docket is going to be the Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which I saw it day it came out, although it was a little weird that for some strange reason the theater that I went to also had like showings the day before it was supposed to come out. I guess they do that I guess with some movies they still do that, but in any case, I mean, for what it was, I certainly enjoyed it. It certainly lived up to the hype of the trailer, or the trailers. I loved seeing Jim Carrey reprise his role very well as Dr. Robotnik. Ben Schwartz, of course, was amazing once again as the voice of Sonic, and glad we get to hear, I should say, more of Colleen O'Shaughnessy, who provided the voice for Tails. And I believe she's also been the voice of Tails since the Sonic Boom games.
I actually think she has been around playing Tails for a while. I could be wrong. I mean, her voice does seem like it's been around for a while. Before Boom. The travesty that it is.
Well, I mean, the good thing that came out of that was the TV show, which I have not seen.
I actually seen a good few episodes of Sonic Boom, the TV series, back when it was on Cartoon Network, before Cartoon Network was like, oh no, this show is becoming too popular. It's driving people away from Teen Titans Go. Let's move it to Boomerang instead.
Oh, God. Oh, man. Yeah. Ugh. Don't get me started on Teen Titans Go.
That's a topic for another day.
Yeah. But going back to the subject at hand, Colleen O'Shaughnessy as Tails did an amazing job once again, especially with that little bit that we saw at the end of the first movie. So of course we already knew that Tails was going to be a big part of the second movie. And I guess to an extent Knuckles would have as well, but I'm at least glad that they waited until the trailer to kind of reveal that he was going to be a part of the movie.
Yeah. Plus the fact that the whole introduction by Jim actually helped drive the force of who Knuckles is. Where are my manners? Sonic, eat Knuckles.
Oh yeah, that was like one of my favorite parts of the trailer. And Idris Elba as Knuckles the Echidna. Wasn't sure what to.
Sorry.
Yeah.
We're interrupting each other, but I actually remember some interviews ago where somebody had asked him, "Will Knuckles have a sexy voice?" And Idris said, "No, he's not." But then the trailer dropped, and with the voice, "Do I look like I need your power?" I think so many people were just like, "Oh God, why am I attracted to an Echidna now?"
Yeah. What was the name of that YouTube channel? This YouTube channel that I watch, I think it's Tails and Sonic Pals. I remember, like in very few videos, and granted, some of these were before the movie even came out, was when... Okay, I guess for a little bit of context, Tails and Sonic Pals, for those who don't know, it's a character channel, and the voice of Tails and Amy behind that channel, same person who was, I believe her name, I believe she goes by Bunny Chan VA, or Bulma Bunny.
It's also Bulma Bunny, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, Bulma Bunny, or Elaine, which is her real name. I just say it because it's on her Twitter. That's how I know that.
Good. I'm sure if she's watching this, she'll understand. Respect to you, Elaine.
Yeah, seriously. But in any case, going back to the movie, didn't mean to get off the subject. We might do that from time to time, but hey, that's just how. I guess that's how some podcasts go, or at least that's how this one's going to go every now and again. I really did love the movie, and I loved the cast for the most part. I know a lot of people say that when it came to the stuff with the humans, like the quote unquote wedding scene in Hawaii, I guess I could have done without that as well. Like it really is the only part of the film that doesn't feel like it really goes anywhere, at least not much. And it kind of distracts a little bit, but not too much, at least in my opinion.
This kind of brings in a major elephant in the room for me, because apparently we'll talk more about like the mid-credit scene later, if I have to guess right.
Yeah, we can talk about it later.
But it brought up Gun. For people who were fans of the Sonic games, people will know who Gun is, and oh boy, let me just say, them being revealed this early compared to them appearing in like a future sequel, just making them appear now just makes me go, okay, why did you guys bring in Gun now?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? You guys gonna reveal Rooster back during the next movie?
It's very possible. It's very possible. And we will get to the end credit scene in a little bit, but we still have a little bit of the film that I want to talk about before we get to that. Namely, I think one of the first parts I want to bring up is the Seattle scene, which was featured which I think was featured in a few of the trailers.
I think probably like all the trailers, including the teaser with Blue Justice.
Yeah, the Blue Justice scene. Obviously, it was a great callback to Sonic Adventure 1, and that's a game that I have a big soft spot for.
For Escape the City and, of course, the final Chaos Battle.
Yeah, that's right. Wait, you mean the city escape level? No, wait a minute. Yeah, I was about to say, like, the city escape level is from the city in Sonic Adventure 2, which is a different city. It's not Station Square.
I forgot. It's been a while, okay?
Yeah, I understand. But in any case, I think it was definitely one of the scenes in the movie. It was definitely one of several scenes in the movie where I really just could not stop laughing because of how hilariously it was pulled off. And I mean that with the utmost respect. I mean, obviously you see like the police chasing some armored van because it's been taken. It's just a simple robbery, of course. And then you cut to Sonic on a rooftop.
Eating a chili dog, as per usual.
As you do. And then you have Run DMC in the background with Tricky. And it makes sense, I suppose. I mean, I still enjoyed the scene regardless, but it was definitely a scene where I just could not help but laugh because it really just made me smile, because it made me smile obviously because I really loved Sonic's introduction in the first Sonic Adventure, which of course that first bit that introduces him is a callback to, and there were obvious little bits as well that kind of made obvious references to Sonic Adventure 1 as well, like when the bombs go off in the sewers with the water rising.
Yeah.
That's kind of like when in Sonic Adventure 1 when Station Square starts going into chaos when perfect chaos starts emerging and all the water goes everywhere.
Yeah. But your heart's better than live and learn. Fight me!
Yeah, and I kind of didn't put it together until I started until I came across like one or two reviews of the movie, where it was basically obviously it was just people expressing their thoughts on the movie. But then I think it was some Call Me Johnny's recent review of the Sonic of the movie, where because I didn't put it together when I saw the movie when it premiered, but or when it was in, or when I went to see it in theaters, but I didn't notice that was basically how Gunn took notice and captured Sonic. I kind of thought it was just out of nowhere when I had initially seen the movie, but when I kind of think about it now with the shenanigans he pulled in the Blue Justice scene, yeah, I guess that would get Gunn's attention. So there is that. And it was kind of interesting that while the initial plot of the movie, it combines the stories of Sonic's 2 and 3 on the Genesis, Sonic's 2 and Sonic 3 and Knuckles, because,
Knuckles and Knuckles and Knuckles and Knuckles and Knuckles and Knuckles.
and all the Knuckles. Yeah, I really thought it was an interesting way to adapt those plots without borrowing too much from the games, which usually can make or break a film for most people who are a fan of something and they see a film that's based on something that they either are familiar with or excuse me, or are a fan of, which it really didn't bother me all that much. In fact, I still enjoyed it for what it was, and that still makes it like one of the best attempts at making a good movie based on a very popular and iconic video game series. And it kind of makes me think that we're gonna, like, within the next several years, we're gonna start getting more and more movies based on video games in some way, and maybe TV shows as well. Which I kind of almost forgot to mention that I think it has to be Paramount Plus because the movie was a Paramount film.
I know what you're going for. They're going to be bringing up the fact that Knuckles is going to be getting his own series on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, and I'm also thinking that because Knuckles is going to be the focus, maybe they're going to bring in the Chaotix characters as well.
I would actually love to see the Chaotix characters because they have been so underutilized nowadays, especially Mighty the Beetle, who hasn't been seen in years and actually made his return in Sonic Mania.
Yeah, Mighty the Armadillo. I would love to see him definitely get a little bit more representation. Of course, I'm happy that he did make his return finally in Sonic Mania. That was kind of the reason I got Sonic Mania when I did.
I need the Plus edition since that's like the only way to access him.
Well, yeah. I got the game digitally. I didn't get a physical copy. I got it through the PlayStation Store, and then I had to buy the base game first, and then I got the Encore DLC, which basically included Mighty and Ray.
Believe it or not, yesterday I actually did buy Sonic Mania because it was only like $9.99 in the Nintendo eShop. So probably during my next paycheck, I'll buy the Encore DLC so I can get Mighty and Rick. But let's get back to the movie talk because there's one scene in particular that just made me groan in agony. As in the beginning of the film, after Dr. Eggman slash Robotnik managed to beat up those strange-looking people, folks, if you managed to get one of those prequel comics from from select theaters, read it no more because I didn't.
I didn't either. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Some.
yeah,
Go
after
ahead.
that, Knuckles appeared and asked about where Sonic was, so he could find a way to get to the Master Emerald. And this just made me slap myself in the face because Dr. Eggman replied, "I will show you the way." I was like, oh no, they actually reference Ugandan frickin' Knuckles. Why? I mean, sure, we got Sonic back in the first film. It's still weird to say. Sonic, 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 Sonic.
Of course, yeah, yeah. Because I kind of did forget that. Oh, then again, it has been a while since I've seen the first film, so I don't remember. I didn't remember every little detail from it, but of course I did remember that. Of course, they referenced Sonic for a second, like as a joke, obviously, because that's what Sonic is. Um, in the first film. So I guess it would make sense to a degree that they would reference a meme that probably didn't last very long on the internet. I mean, I guess some people still probably remember what it is, but well, I mean, I do, but
Oh, one thing we should be glad about is that Knuckles did not sing a song about his people.
oh God, no. I kind of almost thought I kind of almost thought that that the performance that Idris Elba gave as Knuckles was almost a reference to how Ugandan Knuckles sounds when he talks. Because now it could just be me, but it's because when I hear Idris Elba's performance, as good as it is, I really do enjoy it. It was kind of interesting to me to hear that they tried to make Knuckles sound a little bit more tribal instead of just having a normal ass voice like most of us were probably used to in the games.
I mean, I actually going through both voices in my head right now, and I'm here when I hear "Do you know the way?" I hear "Do I look like I need your power?" So I can hear the similarities in the voices.
Yeah, and the I think I have brought this up at least once, but I'll go ahead and bring it again because there is yet another elephant in the room that I kind of need to address,
Oh boy, here we go.
and that of course is the and it's kind of going back to something that it's something that I talked about a little bit earlier, but I kind of need to bring it back because my God, that damn wedding scene, like that damn wedding in Hawaii. I know that I said it. It's really one of the only parts of the film that does drag, and doesn't feel like it
Yeah.
really goes anywhere, at least not very far.
I mean, when I saw it in theaters and that scene came up, my brain just went, "Okay, that's it. I'm just gonna go to the restroom for a moment, and I'll be back."
Yeah,
Like I did not want to deal with human characters. I want to get back to more funny bits.
yeah, and I think one of the few things that actually did make me laugh was the fact that what was James Marsden's character's name? Tom. There we go. I was trying to remember James Marsden's character for a second, because I know people usually call him Donut Lord, and but I know his name is supposed to be Tom. But I think one of the only funny bits that I remembered from that scene, from that whole scene, was when Sonic calls. Also, by the way, I'm surprised that Sonic was able to get very good reception on his phone going down a mountain.
Oh my god, I did not realize that till you just said it.
I
did not realize that. Heck, when he was texting the Donut Lord inside the bar scene, I'm still surprised he had good connection on top of a mountain.
Yeah, that's just very. I guess at the time when I saw it in theaters, it didn't occur to me, but then I started thinking about it a little bit more when I was getting ready to get my thoughts out on the film, and I was like, wait a minute, how in the world was he even able to get very good, surprisingly good reception? Like, now, I mean, some people could argue that it's just movie magic, and I could totally believe that. Because not everything has to make sense, of course not. But it is something. It wasn't even so much an elephant in the room for me. It was just something that I kind of didn't even notice the first time. And if I ever do find time to go see it again in theaters, I will. But
Yeah.
but what I was gonna say, one part that did make me laugh was that when Donut Lord.
It's easier to call it the Donut Lord.
Yeah, I know. Donut Lord basically he gets ready to throw the ring so that Tails and Sonic can come through because they're about to be crushed by an avalanche. But of course, it's not the right ring.
Oh, yes, then the whole awkward conversation goes on.
Yeah, with Pretzel Lady's sister and Shamar Moore.
And let's just follow like that. Because we do not care about the humans, we only care about the video game characters.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, well, in any case, with that whole bit out of the way, what also got me laughing was even though it probably was just funny to me. I mean, I guess some other people laughed in the theater that I was in as well, but I guess they just didn't want to be too obnoxious because they obviously didn't want to be too loud, which is understandable. You kind of can't be, but that's just how it is. When Sonic and Tails crash the wedding and do come through the ring, it's just a little funny to me that Maddie's sister basically says that there are two of them now. I got the feeling that she already could not stand Sonic at all, and that's why she couldn't stand Donut Lord, because she already thought things were so weird because of the anomaly that was Sonic in the first film. Well, it was an anomaly to her.
Plus the fact she was tied up near the end of the film.
Yeah, that's right.
We gotta give her actress some credit for managing to stay tied up for that long.
Yeah, I mean, if these actors can commit, credit where credit's due. And there were obviously a lot of callbacks as the movie kept going as well.
There were a few references to the games. One of my favorite was actually the name of the coffee shop. It was called Mean Bean.
Oh yeah, the Mean Bean coffee shop in Green Hills where Agent Stone was.
It was a reference to the Avalanche clone called Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean machine.
Yeah, I actually do have that via the Sonic Mega Collection. I have the GameCube version.
I have the Sega Genesis collection on my Nintendo Switch. Plus, I do have the expansion patch, which does give me the whole Sega library that they do release from time to time, which Nintendo still needs to update. Looking at you.
Yeah, and I think another. I think the temple where the Master Emerald is located.
It's a reference to Labyrinth Zone right there.
Yeah, I was about to say that was a Labyrinth Zone reference, or that. Yeah, that pretty much was Labyrinth Zone. Well, certainly still better than it was in the actual game that it comes from.
Oh, burn!
And trust me, it's not much better in Sonic the Hedgehog Genesis. And if you don't, then trust me, if you don't know what that is, trust me, you're better off not knowing. But I
actually emulated that game at one point. Oh God, makes me regret ever thinking that it would run well.
Oh God. My God, and I feel even worse for my cousin Diana because she had that game.
Oh no!
And every day when I think about that, I was just like, kind of makes me wish that she had at least any of the Sonic Advance games because at least they were good.
Yeah, I actually had Sonic Advance too. I never could manage to get those dang Chaos Emeralds. Not even that 7 damn Chaos Emeralds.
Actually, I think the only one that I had physically was the third one, and how I got a hold of that one was through a friend that I had in high school at the time, because he gave it to me in trade of my copy of Drill Dozer.
Okay, now let's get back to the movie.
Yeah.
And there's actually a small reference that I actually missed the first time around till somebody actually brought it up. Because apparently, you know, when Sonic was beginning to drown in the Labyrinth Zone after he freed Knuckles?
Yeah.
Apparently, if you have listened very closely, you could actually hear the whole, like...
Oh, the drowning theme.
Yes, like I said, apparently it was there, but it was, like, very faint to it.
I will definitely have to watch the movie again to catch that, because I honestly didn't when I first saw it.
I did kind of love the fact that... in that part, they had Sonic stuck in an air bubble to get more air.
Well,
like in the game.
Yeah, exactly, because he does that in the games. It is cool. I think one callback that I really loved as well was especially during like the third and like the final act of the movie where basically Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles all decide to team up to fight the giant Eggman robot. That's basically like the
egg robot. I think
the robot that you fight on the Death Egg in Sonic 2. And obviously the fact that seeing Tails, Knuckles, and Sonic all working together, obvious reference to Sonic Heroes.
Sonic Heroes. I actually saw someone on TikTok actually place that scene with the Sonic Heroes theme over it. I was thinking down, and he re-uploaded it with Nate Wants to Battle's cover of it.
Oh, wow.
Pretty good cover.
Oh, that's actually pretty cool. And so, of course, I think as far as that movie is concerned, there's only like a couple of other things left to talk about, and that, of course, starting with the way that Sonic becomes Supersonic. So basically, when
I know I remember this one still pretty well in my mind. Do you want me to take over so I can?
Yeah, well, I kind of want. I'll just go ahead and get my thoughts out while it's still fresh in my mind.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see. It was interesting to see that when Sonic gets the Master Emerald back from Robotnik, it ends up shattering. like it ends up shattering, and the 7 Chaos Emeralds were inside the Master Emerald all along. I didn't think that the movie would go that route with the 7 emeralds, but sometimes I got to remember it's not a direct adaptation of the games. As long as they can make it work, it's fine by me.
I should have thought about that myself because, to be honest, that was like my one small nitpick with the movie because, like, I played a lot of Sonic games and I am not sure how the Chaos Emeralds originated, but apparently the whole like Master Emerald was supposed to be holding back chaos from if you played Sonic Adventure.
Right, because in Sonic Adventure 2, I remember this very vividly. In Sonic,
the Master Emerald broke because.
Well, no, I know there was that, but what I was referring to, like, it's near the end of the final chapter in Sonic Adventure 2. It's when, I think it's right after Shadow defeats the Bio-Lizard for the first time, and Knuckles tries to call upon the power of the Master Emerald to stop the power of the Chaos Emeralds, so that they can basically stop the Bio-Lizard, which of course it doesn't work. And so the way that whole dynamic was adapted into, well, that sort of scenario, well, it wasn't that scenario exactly, but you know what I mean. When they tried to adapt how the emeralds work, I still think it was done very well for what it was. Even though it obviously wasn't at all connected to how it works in the games, to how they work in the games, I should say, because there's 7 of them.
Yeah.
So when it was interesting that when Sonic basically tapped into the power of the emeralds, seeing him become Supersonic. I kind of expected that to happen, knowing that the emeralds were going to play a bigger part in the movie as a whole. So I kind of knew that they were going to save like that scene for like the big climactic final battle. And it's all right it's pretty good for what it is. At least I think so. And something that I actually did not think about until somebody brought it to my attention. When Sonic is Supersonic, he basically he basically does like a little foot tap against the giant Death Egg robot, sending it tumbling over, and that apparently it was a Sonic 06 reference.
Oh God!
I actually,
wow!
I did not think about that because I
am gonna puke at the fact that I did not know that.
Because I actually kind of forgot that Sonic did that in Sonic 06. But then again, I only remember like very few things from Sonic 06. I never actually played the game myself. I've seen other people play it. But yeah, that aside, I guess Robotnik is no, of course not. I was gonna say that maybe he quote unquote died, but no, of course that's not gonna be the case because I have a feeling, of course, he's gonna be in the next film. Wouldn't be Sonic without him. But something else of note as well was that what was I gonna say? Jesus, what was it? Oh yeah, so that the quill that Robotnik had, like in the beginning of the film, the one that he still had, he obviously kept it with him when the first movie ended, when he got sent to the mushroom planet. Yeah, it kind of disappears. Like after that introduction scene with him and Knuckles. Like, it's just never brought up again. And apparently, I don't think throughout the rest of the movie, I don't believe he has it, unless he did and they just never brought it up. Like, they literally just kind of... they just kind of...
Sorry.
It's alright. They just kind of drop it. And there's a reason I'll get into that I'll get into with that a little bit later. But yeah, that aside, it was still a pretty epic battle for a pretty epic movie, at least in my opinion. Certainly glad to see that the movie was able to try and be a lot bigger in some areas compared to the first movie. I mean, the first movie, I mean, it was still trying to set up like the origin story for how Robotnik would eventually become the villain that we obviously know him as, but in the world of the Sonic cinematic universe, which will be a thing. What was that? Okay, that was weird.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there. Well, it's not going to matter. I'm going to cut it in post.
Yeah.
But in any case, I do like that the movie tried to go bigger in a lot of ways and tried to bring in more, not just references, but try to bring in like elements from the games, which, I think it works. Of course, I don't know if we're going to see the rings ever again. We might not, considering Sonic lost a lot of them when he and Tails were being chased by Knuckles on the mountain.
To be honest, it looked like he practically lost all of them if he couldn't use.
You're probably going to have to say that again because you kind of cut out.
I'm basically saying that Sonic lost all of his rings back on the mountains, mainly because of the fact that he didn't be able to use one of them to get to Hawaii.
Yeah. Well, okay, yeah, well, you would say, well, you do say that, but the only reason he was able to get to Hawaii was but that was because of the ring that he gave Tom, Donut Lord. And that was, and again, that was the if you remember, like the whole awkward bit at the wedding scene, that was the ring that Tom needed to open up so that Sonic and Tails could get through. Because again, they were about to be crushed by an avalanche.
Right now, know if these rings are like one use only or they could be used multiple times.
Part of me wants to believe maybe they were like one-time use only, unless they're not, because I like to think that in the first film, when Robotnik is chasing Sonic throughout different parts of the world, he's using a different ring to transport him to another location. It's not the same ring over and over again. So I'm guessing maybe they are just one use. Maybe somebody in the comments will probably correct me on that. Maybe.
Maybe, but I mean, I think if they are one use, if you actually go back to the first film, back when Sonic lost his rings back into San Fran.
Yeah, that's right. On the Transamerica building, I think it was.
I think it was.
But yeah, So, I guess for a while that's going to be the last of that we might see of the rings, unless they find a way to either get them back or get new ones. I'm really not sure how they're going to do that, if they even try to do that again with the third film, which they might not even. Not that it matters, but aside from all that, my personal my final
Actually, go back to the beginning of the film, back when Knuckles first appeared.
yeah.
It's like he had his own set of rings.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point because the bird people, well, the quote unquote bird people, came through a ring to where Robotnik was at the beginning of the film, and that was basically how Knuckles found him. So I'm guessing maybe he had like those transporter rings as well. Well, I guess they would because I imagine maybe he had spares of his own, or a spare of it, or maybe a spare or two of his own, because at the beginning of the first movie, when Longclaw, the owl that was protecting Sonic as a child, who joined in the chat? Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, sorry about that, everyone. I had some technical difficulties, but we're back. Yeah, Andrew is still here. So,
I think we can finally talk about that end credit scene, right?
yeah. So I guess the only thing, well, before we give our final thoughts, I think the last thing we have to talk about, obviously, is the mid-credit scene, because I've got quite a few things to say about that. So, the mid-credit scene with Gunn talking about Project Shadow.
Obvious call to Sonic Adventure 2.
Right.
Handled by Dr. Robotnik's grandfather, Gerald Robotnik.
That's right.
Something just kind of irked me a little bit with the fact that Shadow kind of woke on his own or something. I mean, for all we know, somebody could have activated Shadow behind the scenes.
Yeah, yeah, just talking, well, first of all, talking about the reveal of Shadow at the end, that was just a big surprise to me, because I honestly did not think that was going to be the setup for the next movie. I
was expecting, since the Master Emerald first broke, we would see, little water droplets on the scene just scurrying away, in reference to Chaos.
Yeah, there's that. I kind of forgot about that, honestly. I also kind of thought that for the setup of the third movie, they would have gone the route of the Sonic CD story. And it kind of goes back to what I said about Sonic's quill that Robotnik had at the beginning of the film disappearing without a trace. Because obviously it's never brought up again, unless Robotnik still has it with him and we just never see it.
That is what the Nostalgia Critic usually calls a big-lipped alligator moment.
Yeah, but because the way that I thought the setup was going to go was if Robotnik still had that quill that he took from Sonic, he could have used that for a way to construct Metal Sonic, and maybe in some way Amy Rose would be introduced as a character, as an important character, so that they could set up the Sonic CD story, but maybe without the time travel aspect of it, or the brief time traveling aspect that's in Sonic CD as a whole.
I know so many people that were expecting Amy and they were just like really sure Amy was going to be the mid credits because everybody was predicting there was going to be a mid credits, heck, even me included. But I wasn't sure who they were going to throw in there. But the fact it was Shadow over Amy made me laugh at all the Amy fans a little bit. But still, respect to all the Amy fans.
Yeah, I honestly would like again. I was not. I was honestly not expecting Shadow at all. For the I stuck around the theater for that mid-credit scene when it did come up, and like as soon as I saw Shadow come up from his eternal or his 50-year slumber. Like the only thing that I said to myself as I was getting ready to leave, like after that scene played, I was like, the only thing I can say is chaos control.
And all the Shadow fangirls are like, chaos blast.
Oh god, right.
I had to do an innuendo. I had to.
Yeah, of course. But that the only thing that does leave me asking now is because in a way in Sonic Adventure 2, Amy was still not a big crucial part of the story, but she was kind of the one who got Shadow to change his ways and try to help Sonic.
Let me bring up the major Sonic elephant in the room of the whole franchise, Sonic X. Because instead of Amy, it was the human character Chris that got Shadow to believe in humanity.
Well, yeah, you're right. Well, of course, I wouldn't remember that offhand. It's literally been years since I last saw Sonic X, so I wouldn't have remembered that.
They said it's a major elephant. I know it has its fans, but 4Kids kind of ruined it for me.
Yeah.
Especially since I learned they actually had Live and Learn played in the Japanese dub, but the English dub did not have it at all.
Wait, the Japanese version had Live and Learn?
That's what I heard!
My god. I guess the only reason that they didn't have it in the American dub was probably... I'm just guessing here. Maybe they just didn't have the rights to it? Maybe Sega didn't allow them the rights to use it? I don't know.
That kind of makes me wonder about another 4Kids dub. Kirby right back at you. At the end of one of the episodes, they had the Kirby Victory theme played at the end of the episode in the Japanese dub, but then just generic orchestra music for the English dub.
Yeah, you know what? I imagine that show probably would have something like that in the Japanese dub at least, because, you know, it would have allowed Sakurai to work a little bit more closely with that show.
Yeah.
Yeah. But going back to Sonic, the mid-credits scene with how Shadow is going to be like part of the big setup for Sonic the movie, the third Sonic movie, when that does come out. It just makes me wonder, how is Amy going to fit into all of this?
If Amy is brought in.
Well, that's it. Well, yeah, if she is brought in to begin with. Because I kind of thought the only thing that really got me to think that maybe she might be in the next one, if not the second one, was there was this old lady that Sonic passed by when he was trying to stop the armored van before it eventually crashed. He passed by a lady that was dressed all in pink and had like a little red hat on her head and all that. And she, like, I thought that maybe in a way that was kind of, I feel like if anything, that was probably just a reference to Amy. That wasn't really so implying that Amy was going to even be in that movie, but
Understandable.
like I just felt the need to bring that up because that might have been a very big reference to Amy in some way because she's pink and she wears red. Um, but yeah, it kind of makes me wonder if they're. It does make me wonder a little bit if they're even going to include her for the Sonic Adventure 2 arc that the third film is going to take inspiration from. Because one thing is for sure now, with Sonic the movie 3, when that does come out, obviously Shadow's going to be a big part of it if that mid-credit scene was anything to go by. I imagine Robotnik is going to be a part of that as well, in some way.
Oh, don't forget, this is supposed to be Jim Carrey's last film since he's announcing a bit of a retirement.
Well, that's possible. Well, it could be possible.
Plus, the creators of the film actually went on to say they would not recast Jim Carrey if he didn't want to come back for the third film.
Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see then.
We could have known as the main villain. I mean, if anything, that mid-credit scene was to go by.
Yeah, and it's definitely gonna give the vibe that that Shadow might end up being the main villain of the next movie when that comes out. It is going to be interesting to see how they introduce Rouge because she's definitely going to have to be in the next movie as well, considering she was a big part of the Sonic Adventure 2 story. Because remember, in that game, she obviously sides with Shadow and Robotnik and not Robotnik, Eggman in that game. So I guess they thought I guess they would think for it to make sense if she was a part of the next movie as well, because, well, I mean, you're introducing Shadow, may as well have Rouge in there as well, and try to fit her in somehow.
Agreed.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see where the Project Shadow story goes whenever that third film does get released. The only thing that I guess I'll have to look out for is that Paramount Plus series with Knuckles to see where that goes, because I'm not even sure how that series is going to be handled. Like, part of me thinks maybe they might get Idris Elba to come back as Knuckles, but I'm not even sure if that's the case.
I think that was actually confirmed. Idris was going to be reprising his role as Knuckles.
Okay, so definitely gonna have Idris Elba back as Knuckles. If I had to guess, if the Paramount Plus series that is rumored to come out, if it's supposed to focus a little bit more on Knuckles and, as we discussed earlier, the Chaotix characters and maybe Mighty Armadillo as well, if we're lucky. Like, I'm guessing maybe they might also have like Sonic and Tails like appear, but like maybe once in a while, depending on how long that series even goes for. Characters. Yeah, like they're gonna have to take a back seat because Knuckles is the focus of the Paramount Plus series whenever that comes out, if that even ever gets made. But yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, personally, first film I really enjoyed for what it was. I loved that movie when I first saw it, and I can easily say the same for the second movie. Raised the stakes even more while introducing a few more characters, of course, Tails and Knuckles being the emphasis on that. I love that they paid more references to the games as well, because I loved a lot of the callbacks. Of course, the Seattle one was one of my personal favorites because I just loved Sonic Adventure so much. If that Knuckles spinoff show ever gets, when it gets greenlit, I should say, and when it does come out on Paramount Plus, I might get it just for that. And we might it. Of course, I'm guessing it might be another 2 or 3 years before we even get the next movie. Considering it only took them like 2 years to get the second one underway after the first one had come out, and I remember seeing in like an interview or two that Sonic 3 was already in production, so yeah, they're definitely gonna. So it might be a little while before we eventually get Sonic 3, but hopefully it lives up to the hype just like the second one did. I love a lot. I love all the elements. I love the characters. Well, the ones that are important, basically. And it is kind of cool to see that. And I guess in a way, it is kind of cool that they make not one, but I guess 2 Sonic Heroes references, sort of. Well, one of them is sort of a reference. Like one of them was a bit more obvious, but and of course it was that scene I talked about with Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles all teaming together to fight the Death Egg robot that Robotnik was controlling. Like the other one might be a little bit more subtle for some, I guess, and it's that scene where Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles are playing with Tom and Maddie in the baseball field, in that little baseball field, and it kind of and basically Tom says to Sonic right before they leave to get ice cream.
I heard there will be sprinkles.
Yeah. Yeah, that line just tickled me silly. But what Tom was I think what Tom was implying that he like is that now that Sonic has friends that he can hang out with, but they also are more like brothers to him as well because they're kind of included in their little family as well. Yeah, I not only did I think that was actually kind of sweet, especially knowing that Sonic had finally gotten friends to hang out with. Obviously, he had Tom and Maddie, like when the first movie ended, and I guess most of the people in Green Hills. But he didn't really have many friends to hang out with, as Tom made that clear. And I thought it was kind of cool that it tied back into that message that Tom brought up to Sonic when they were in the boat. When Tom was giving.
Still makes me feel.
Yeah, but in all honesty, besides all, in my final thoughts on the film, obviously not expecting it to be a perfect film. I wasn't expecting that at all, but I was just expecting to enjoy it, and I did. And Discord is going off like a madman, or at least it is on my end, because Jorkies is probably sending messages in the general chat.
Talking about being done with her stream.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, she was busy streaming Hitman 2, or one of the Hitman games. I checked on her Twitch very briefly. Well, I should say he because technically Jorky's a boy. And yes, I know that for a fact because, well, he talked during the stream, so that's how I know. Unless there's something I don't know about. Not that it matters. Let's not think too hard about it. But yeah, Sonic Adventure 2. Wait, what? Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Ew. Good movie. If I ever find time to see it later in the week, well, later this coming week, then I will probably go and see it again. I might actually bring my dad with me if he really feels like going because he likes Jim Carrey. So I imagine he would probably enjoy it. Of course, I love Jim Carrey as well, and of course, I'm a pretty big or a pretty avid Sonic fan. Yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, really good movie. If I had to rate it, not that I normally would, but if I did have to rate it, I would probably rate it a 9 out of 10. But that's just me. Because
It's really a fair score in my opinion. Me personally, I really do enjoy the film myself, and actually found it a little more fun than the original. Really explored more of the world surrounding Sonic, considering the fact that the map given to him by Longclaw, God bless her soul, I actually teared up a little bit during the whole message scene because didn't know the fate of Longclaw, but it's been confirmed that out that
yeah,
I can't even say.
yeah, she dead. She dead.
Yeah, I had to say it.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I did have to say it because I did kind of think that I kind of thought that maybe she was, because a big part of me was thinking, like, ever since I saw the first trailer for the movie before it came out, I kind of thought that maybe if Longclaw was going to be coming back in some way, I kind of thought that maybe I kind of thought that maybe they would find a way to imply that maybe she was either captured and they had to get her back somehow while also dodging Knuckles and Robotnik. Or at least that's what I thought. That's part of the direction I thought the film was going to go in, but you know, it wasn't. Aside from all that, though, I did really enjoy the film, and I will probably give it a second viewing later this coming week, and maybe I'll bring my father along with me. Maybe he might enjoy it. Maybe he might not. I don't know. I'll have to wait and see. I'll definitely keep my eyes open for that Knuckles spinoff show when it does come about. And, of course, there's that Sonic 3 movie with Project Shadow. Gonna be waiting to see where that goes.
Indeed.
Because one thing I can definitely say, with considering how successful Sonic 2 was, and I mean it was mad successful. Like, I'm not even joking about that, because it did so very well. Like, not just critically, but financially as well. So it's going to be interesting to see where they carry this new cinematic universe. Because obviously, like I said before, we have that third film to look forward to when that does come out. It might be another couple of years. But also, it does kind of make me believe that we're getting to that point now where there might actually start to be more movies based on video games, and especially considering that the Mario movie is coming out, it's said to come out in holidays of this year. And one of the only things that I said after leaving the theater after watching Sonic 2, one thing I definitely said to myself was that the Mario movie is definitely going to have some big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I am hoping that even if it doesn't pay too much attention to the source material, like, if it pays just enough attention, that's fine by me. I just want the film to be good. That's all I ask for. But, and, you know, the Mario movie, if I ever choose to do another podcast like this, it'll it'll be for another time. But yeah, I guess you can go ahead and give your thoughts on the whole thing. Whenever you whenever you're ready, because I think we've been going for a little bit over an hour, and I've been doing most of the talking, but that's all right. I still have to kind of figure out how to do this whole podcast thing a little better. But that's also a big part of why I'm looking to get a better PC, along with a lot of other things. I've gone into enough detail about that off screen, or behind the scenes rather. But I guess you can go ahead and give your whole thoughts overall on Sonic 2. Andrew?
Yeah?
Like, I'm still waiting for you to give your final thoughts.
I'm sorry. I mean, your microphone keeps going on and off for some reason.
It's just a Discord thing. I'll try to get that ironed out. Well, I mean, also your microphone just kind of goes on and off too, or at least it sounds like it does, unless you're just not saying anything. But not that. Well, not that that's. I mean, I do get it. I don't mean to put you on the spot or anything. It's just that, you know.
Oh, good. Like I said, we should probably try to find something else to use next time we do this, because boy, the microphone being cut on and off gets a little crazy.
Yeah. Again, a big part of why I need a better PC in the first place. A good small part of it is that the computer I'm using is kind of old anyway, so I need to eventually switch it out.
Yeah, like I said, I really enjoyed the film. 9 out of 10 is like a fair score. That's what I would probably give it as well. aka 4 out of 5, which is my usual rating scale. The characters were really great. My only problems was with the human side of the story, but that makes up for it with the whole actions.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I am truly excited to see what Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is going to hold. If they're going to add more characters than originally planned, like probably 3 new characters. Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Of course.
3 new characters. I mean, it's Sonic the Hedgehog 2, we got 2 new characters.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. Yeah, I'm definitely looking for
the Sonic movie franchise, and of course video game movies in general. Since believe it or not, I actually did enjoy the 2021 Mortal Kombat film, and Sonic the Hedgehog, the first film, really helped push that motive forward. So it looks like we're on the train of good video game movies. And for anyone that asks in the comments, no, I haven't seen Uncharted yet. I want to because Tom Holland is a good actor.
I still have yet to see that movie myself, but if anything, it does at least make me want to. That movie, the trailer for that movie, does make me want to check out the series, like the series that it's based on, because I've heard that it does have a lot of fans, and that's obviously a pretty good sign that it's a pretty good series. So. Well, also not to mention the original voice of Nathan Drake, Nolan North. He and another voice actor in the video game world, Troy Baker, they're featured on this YouTube channel called Retro Replay. You'll have to look it up on YouTube. They obviously do like several different games depending on what they get requested to play or something like that. But I understand they did a full playthrough together on I think it was Drake's Fortune. Because, you know, Nolan North is the voice of Nathan Drake. And I think after that they also did a playthrough of The Last of Us together because Troy was in that game. But yeah, that is Retro Replay on YouTube, featuring Troy Baker and Nolan North. They're not the ones who run it, but they're prominently featured in a lot of the videos on that channel. Sometimes, I think one exception was that I think when the pandemic was really spreading, like when it started spreading, obviously, or it was during the point when it was still kind of spreading, Nolan North had to do a playthrough series not with Troy because Troy obviously couldn't be Troy was not available. So what happened was that I think Nolan did it with his son. Yeah, that's right. He played Lego Star Wars Complete Saga with his son, and that's Lego Star Wars Complete Saga, not the Skywalker Saga, because Skywalker Saga was not even a thing yet. But I guess it's pretty interesting if when you look it up, depending on whether you like it or not. I guess the only thing that, aside from this little podcast that I decided to do today, although it's probably not going to go up on on my channel until later in the week, in this coming week, because I still have to edit some stuff together for it to work. But
I understand completely.
Yeah, the only other things that I still have going is I actually have to get that next episode ready for my continuing playthrough of Star Fox 64. And the only other thing that I can say is that once I'm done with that, when I do get done with it, and I will be eventually, I am gonna get into the 3D GTA games.
Oh, nice.
And because I have the entire 3D collection now, all 5 games, I'm going to go through them, but of course in the right chronological order for the timeline to make sense.
Of course.
That's just how I like to do things.
Yeah, everyone will probably in your comments be like, you should play San Andreas first! San Andreas is the best game! Reach him first, you butt nuggets!
I'll do whichever one first I feel makes sense, okay? Alright. But aside from that, that's really all I have that still needs to be done, and that'll get done when it gets done. Or at least before Monday comes. And that's really it on my end of things. And I'm assuming you're probably just gonna be preoccupied with your job.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably try to work on a discussion video sometime in the future, because I've been promising a very controversial video, and it's really gonna be very controversial for Nintendo fans everywhere, because I'm going to be talking about the first Kingdom Hearts game on Nintendo Switch via the cloud system. I'm going to talk about my experience with it, what kind of problems I had with it, and my overall thoughts of the game when I have the chance.
All right. And for those listening, just be sure to tune in to Andrew's channel for that whenever it does get done. And I'll
Yes.
still and every Monday I'll still be uploading an episode of Star Fox 64, at least until it's finished. And then, of course, as I said, I'll get into the 3D GTA games because uh, I do like GTA 4 for what it is, but and of course the two DLCs that came with it. Uh, but
Yep.
I'm not gonna do a let's play of that. Not because I don't like it, but because there are already like a couple of playthroughs that I enjoy of it already. Prominently, of course, Black Shadow 993, a British let's player that for a while he's been known to be playing a lot of the Resident Evil series because he's a big Resident Evil aficionado, or at least he started off that way. Um, of course, I've seen him play a lot of other great games, both old and new. Uh, he joined up with another Let's Player from the UK region, CM Fruy, or or whatever his username is now. I think he might have changed it at some point. Which yeah, but he joined the other person for stuff like Super Mario World, which is a classic in its own right, and
But
Super Metroid and the original F Zero. Uh, but yeah, he also
basically,
did. Yeah, he at this point as well. Black Shadow has already done like pretty much almost every Grand Theft Auto game out there. He still has yet to do GTA 5 because it's only been a few years. It's only been like a year or so since he uploaded videos to GTA 4, the main game, of course, and the two DLCs that came out for it later, the Lost and Damned and the Ballad of Gay Tony. Uh, so just go check him out for that if you're really into that stuff. Uh, it'll be interesting to see what he plans to do when he gets to GTA 5, if and when he gets to it. He might also do some GTA Online shenanigans. I know I won't because while I do have GTA 5 on my PS4, the game is all right, but the story's kind of crap, at least in my opinion. Eh. But I do think it's actually getting time that I had to go anyway. So, for those listening, I have been the main host of this little podcast, Trickster Fox, also known on Twitch as Foxy Carnage 94, as well as Twitter. Even though I don't post anything to Twitter, at least not anymore, not all the time. In fact, I might be. It might not be too long before I end up closing down my Twitter account because I don't really do much on there anyway, aside from check out what the people I follow have posted, if anything. And I will start streaming on Twitch, but I need a new PC to run OBS properly. I've said this to Andrew and some of the others in the here on Discord in the past. So yeah, I've got a lot of games that I'm going to be saving for live streams when I do get to that point in my life when I can do them finally. So once again, I have been Trickster Fox.
and I have been Andrew Jordan, aka the Youtuber Critic.
And we want to thank you for tuning in to hear our thoughts on Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Make
And
sure you guys subscribe to the channel for more great content from Trickster here. This guy does great gameplay if you haven't seen it.
And also, oh, sorry.
All good.
And also be sure to check out and subscribe to Andrew's channel as well. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description of this video when it does get put up on my channel.
Fair warning to new viewers to the channel, I do just record and upload my videos. I am that lazy. But it's kind of the only way I can actually do videos right, in my opinion. Don't have any proper editing teachings.
Yeah. All right. So, with all that said, thank you very much for tuning into this little hour-long podcast. And if I decide to do more like these in the future, well, I'll try to figure out how I can make it work properly, considering we had some mic issues earlier. And me getting disconnected for a little bit. That does happen from time to time where I live. And I've said this several times in some of my videos. Just always remember to keep your gaming spirit alive. And with that said, I think that's our cue to end this little podcast. So again, thank you very much, everyone. And, well, we will see you all later.
Later, folks.